Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Practical Show, the weekly show where we focus on business growth, AI tools, and a lot more. And we have guests galore, and some of these guests are really interesting. So please stay for the entire show. Guests will be coming on about 15 minutes' time. So, Anna, as we always do at this part of the show, we ask, what's happening this week? What have we lined up?
Yeah, this week actually is very exciting because we have a VIP guest. I'm going to leave you to do the introductions, but just to say that she is a sales expert and she will share very invaluable insights on leveraging AI while maintaining authentic human connection. Also, we will explore some exciting things about AI music, which Thomas, you're going to show us just in a few minutes. And it's not just AI music creation, AI video creation. And it's a lot of things that happen in this show. And really excited about our VIP guest.
All right. Yeah, we both are actually. And you know that I'm excited because I haven't shut up all day about our next guest. So,
absolutely. You want to talk 30 minutes, all the show about our guest. But so before we go to our guest, Thomas, I'm going to ask you, how did you use your this week with AI tools, AI creation, or anything AI? Can you share it with us, please?
All right. Well, I was playing around with some AI tools during the week. I just love playing with AI. It's as simple as that, right? So the intro that we have to our show, I was wondering, could I make it better? And I was on an online summit about 2 weeks ago, and they had a lot of music and songs and things like that were specifically created. So I went and I found an AI tool called I Love Song. And let's see if I can get it up here. Let's see, yeah. It's a song AI music generator, ilovesong.ai. It is quite easy to use. You just take the words that you want in the song and tell it the type of rhythm you want to it, the style of music, press generate, which happens to be way down here in the bottom of it. You give it a title and click generate. It takes about 1 minute for it to do it. It's an amazing little tool. And if you can't come up with the words, you just go to ChatGPT and ask it to create the words for a particular topic. I created one for Anna. Anna's birthday was on Sunday. Unfortunately, we were using the free version of the tool, and it only allowed me to create 3 different songs, and I had used up all my free credits. But it is as simple as that. I went to ChatGPT, told it the topic I wanted, and it created a song for us. So what's the outcome? And I told you it only took about 2 to 3 minutes between using ChatGPT and everything. And this is what we created. I'm going to play the song now. And we would love your feedback into the comments, what you think of this song, right? So whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, please give us your thoughts on this.
Welcome to that show where business do take flight with Thomas and Hello. We'll guide you to the light. AI tools and strategies, insights from the best. VIP guests sharing secrets. Success is our quest. Grow your business, take the lead with AI and wisdom. Plant the seed. Tune in, stay sharp, let knowledge flow. The Practical Show is where you'll grow. Sales funnels, decisions, everything in between. With Thomas and Anna, chase that dream.
I wrote the words.
Live, let's start the ride. The Practical Show, your guide. Sales funnels, decisions, everything in between. With Thomas and Anna, chase that dream. Join us live, let's start the ride. The practical show, your guide.
I have to learn the words yet, Thomas. So
So, yeah, we do like to have a bit of fun here. This is our fun fact area, right? So, yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. Put it into the comments, and yeah, that may be our future intro, right? So, Anna, right,
yes.
on the fun fact and everything else, and using AI during the week, you're getting it as bad as I am now. You're using AI the whole time, right? Okay. So what have you done during the week?
So I took your advice and I actually used, I don't know if you can bring it up for me, please, the in-video AI. So it's something that I wasn't familiar with, but again, it was as easy as you have created the song. So if you give the context and you do need to give the text, and especially like you need to check what this video is actually about. And because I am in the area of decision making and I was exploring the EQ and IQ in decision making. So
Every decision we make involves both the head and the heart. IQ provides the facts and figures, EQ adds the emotional insight. With IQ, you analyze the data. With EQ, you understand the emotions behind the data. Together, they guide you to make choices that are not only smart but also emotionally sound. Balance your brain and heart for impactful decision-making. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share for more insights.
the fun fact was there that I didn't need to think about the images. I didn't need to think about the ending of the video. So I simply asked, can you add the nice, smooth finish? And it actually worked. So saved a lot of time. Obviously, you still have all the trademarks and everything, but our advice would be here. We share you some of the tools, but please, please try it out first before you actually get the full membership, because some of the tools, they're very good to start with, but when you actually start using them, you'll find that maybe it's not for you, it's not for your business. But it was fun. And yeah, I'll be posting it and see what traction will I get on LinkedIn and to take it from there. Over to you, Thomas.
All right. Well, what we've got here so far is, yes, as you said, over to me. We've got Shelley here from Los Angeles after joining in with us. And she says, as on your comment, actually, she says, Anna, that it is, I don't know whether we've got the wrong colors up here. We didn't correct them. But yeah, Chella says, I need to correct the colors on that, right? Brilliant way of exploring EQ and IQ is what it says, right? So thanks very much, Shella, for engaging with us. And
yeah,
yes,
hi, John. Thank you for your support. It's great. So,
yes. So right, okay. Our next segment here.
I'm to introduce our guest, Thomas.
All
please.
right. Well, what I would say is before we introduce our guest, I'm going to ask our listeners if you would please consider joining us on the show, where you can come onto the show, engage and ask our guests some questions. We have this loads of technology here. We will send you a link to join us if you're interested. Just put it into the chat, whether you're on watching it on YouTube, Facebook, or you're on LinkedIn. We will send you a Zoom link. Just put it into the chat that you would like to, or into the comments, I should say, that you would like to join us and ask our guest a question. So, and if you prefer not to...
I was laughing too much, Thomas, and my makeup is literally running after that song. So.
But I would say if you're not keen to come on camera, please engage with us. Like, share, comment, everything else. Ring that bell on YouTube so you know about the next show. So let's get on introducing our VIP guest. And our VIP guest is, and she's going to forgive me if I pronounce the names wrong, but our VIP guest is Denise Murta Bachmann, right? And I'm very, very pleased to have Denise on. A little bit about Denise. She's a powerhouse when it comes to the world of sales. She has an impressive track record with over 30 years in selling. Throughout her career, she's been very, very successful and closed deals in excess of over $74 million, collaborating with Fortune 500 organizations. And the latter part of her, the latter half of her sales career, which is about 10 years, was spent immersed in artificial intelligence and machine learning. What we've got here today with Denise is I couldn't have asked for a better guest, seeing as our show is all about practical tips on growing your business and AI and so on. Denise is totally immersed in AI and sales. So we have a lot to learn from Denise here today. And Denise, we're delighted to have you on the show, right?
Yeah, welcome, Denise. Absolutely lovely to have you today.
Thank you.
Right.
Great to be here.
Yes, so fantastic. Anyway, listen, Anna, I know we've a load of questions and everything for Denise, right?
Yeah, we do, but we're going to have a quick conversation here, right, Denise?
Oh, wait. We have to acknowledge that Thomas did a great job pronouncing Bachmann, right? Very in there. So good for you. Thank you.
We were
Hey,
practicing. We were
I,
practicing, Denise. Yeah.
actually, I'm going to give you the credit for that, Denise, because on your LinkedIn profile, you've got the little, what would you call it, the sound thing there where you could listen to somebody pronouncing their name. So fair play to you. And I forgot to mention it, but you are actually listed as on LinkedIn as one of the top voices. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So yeah, pleasure, as I said, to have you here. So let's get this rocking and rolling. Let's tell our guests a little bit more about what Nice can offer. You've got to open this, Anna, with a question.
Yeah, just it's kind of a question, but more or less we all know how business world has changed and changing fast. And yes, we probably would like to ask you, what did you notice or what did you witness in terms of significant changes in sales industry in the last, what are probably decades, or definitely last 5 years, I guess, with all the AI world developing so fast. So could you share some of your insights on that, please?
Yeah. So maybe let's use the pandemic because that's really what launched this whole digital transformation, right? We've been transforming digitally for a long time, but the pandemic forced us to really do that at a much faster pace. So prior to the pandemic, you had people who would pick up the phone when you cold call. You'd have prospects or leads actually pick up the phone. They may not have liked cold calling, but they did it anyway. You also had salespeople who were out in the field more often, so they had an opportunity to engage more in real to real handshakes and conversation. And you had the prospects and the buyers and the leads, they were actually crazy busy going from meeting to meeting to meeting, whether on site or off site, conference room, office room, but they were very few times were they on their phone or on their laptop in their actual physical desk. So we, as salespeople, would either send them emails, we would try to call their office phone, so we didn't have access to their personal cell phones. So very different world. Then fast forward to now, where we're in this space where we were isolated and sequestered in our homes. Our meetings, we may still be on back-to-back meetings, but they are in front of our laptops. So we now have an opportunity to do a little bit more research as buyers and prospects. We are more confident in what we're looking for. We also have more time that we can give to conversation, but we have less patience for cold calls or very seldom pick up the phone any longer. And they've now gotten our cell phone numbers, and it's so freaking frustrating, right? So
Yeah.
it has changed dramatically the way people buy. So the way they buy today is they want, what is more important now is not buying from someone you just know, like, or trust, but knowing, liking, and trusting someone with credibility. Before, as salespeople, we could show our credibility by educating them more about the industry, the product, the KPIs that most people were looking for. You could do all that and you could establish credibility very fast. But today the buyers have already done their research. So now you have to establish credibility in a much different way. So the cold calling is different. The fact that we're doing everything digitally instead of in person, our buyers and prospects now have more time to engage with you, but they also have more time to do homework. So you can't educate them anymore, right? So now
Yeah.
they're looking for you to establish credibility in a new way. So that's really
You
what I would
actually,
sum it up.
yeah, Denise, you actually kind of transitioned to another aspect of it that relating to AI that I wanted to ask. First of all, what inspired you to shift towards AI, right? Because it's definitely, you have a lot of experience with companies that are tech companies. But if I ask you, like, where do you see or how do you see technologies reshaping the future of sales?
Yeah, so it's already doing that. It is, in fact, taking over a lot of the sales responsibilities that they've had and
Mm-hmm.
really allowing them to do more focused energies on the higher value activities. So before, on average, a sales rep spent anywhere from 65 to 75% of their time on non-sales related activities. And so
Mm-hmm.
now, if they're leveraging AI solutions, which, by the way, automation, learning, that all falls under the AI umbrella. When they're
Yeah.
leveraging those tools more effectively, they can actually shift their focus on the higher value activities. And I just see that continuing to improve, right? We're going to get better at not only adopting those technologies so we are focused on the higher value activities, but we're also going to start adopting more and more. Now, what I also seeing though, which is something I fear a bit, is that I think we need to proceed with caution with, is that we're actually trying to adopt solutions that will eventually allow us to get rid of sales altogether, right? So I hope that's not the direction we're going, but that is something we need to be cautious of, right? So to answer your question, I see us, that was the long-winded, but to summarize my answer, it is really, we're continuing to see more and more technologies to help us augment what we're doing as sales so that we're focusing on the right activities. But I also see potentially in the future looking to replace sales altogether with AI related solutions rather than augmenting simply.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Thomas has a question for you on that one, and
I
specifically
do,
one of
and
the questions.
we
Yeah.
also have for the very first time somebody want to join us here, and so I'm actually behind the scenes trying to make that happen. As it's our first time ever having this, it's not as easy as I thought it was. Right? Okay.
Do your magic, Thomas. Do your magic.
So in a moment, right, because we're live, I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to bring Denise on, and I'm going to be working away. I'm not going to be listening. Right?
Okay.
Because
Cool.
yeah, and we're going to continue the show. So yes, we do have somebody wanting to come on, and Chella, I think it's Chella who wants to come on. Chella, you could make it easy for me if you want, please, just by opening up your Zoom and joining the meeting, typing in the yes, typing in the following. I need to actually hang up. Actually, on the Zoom, it's after giving us the wrong link. That's why it's causing so much trouble for me. But type in as an ID 277-477-2409. Right, and if it
Oh my
asks,
gosh. That was a long ID. That was a
That's
long
what.
ID.
I'll do it again.
I
277.
think what you're gonna do, Thomas. Can you text it to her?
I'm trying, but that's what but before we go on, I'm just going to call her just in case.
You know what we'll do? You're gonna ask your question to Denise now. In the meantime, if you text me those details, and I will contact Chella.
All right, okay. All
Go
right.
ahead with the
Oh,
question.
technology, right? And that's my question, actually. It's about technology, right? So, so when you were talking there about the AI might take over in the future, right? Technology, right? Okay, so you have, as I was doing a bit of research on you, I saw that you've got this, and forgive me again for pronunciations and things like that, getting it wrong, but you've told me a little bit about this Celevators innovation that you have and what that's all about. I did actually have it here. Where did I have it? I have it up here on the screen as well, right? That, yeah, you've got a website more or less dedicated to it. So if Denise, tell us a little bit more about this, if you could please, and what it's all about. And I can see that there seems to be four different elements. I'm very interested because I'm into lead generation of funnels and data analysis myself. So love to hear more about that.
Yeah. So, for me, I think that you should be leveraged. So, first off, Cellivators. So, how did Cellivators arrive? How did I get to Cellivators? Well, most people don't realize, don't take it apart, but sell, the first SELL is, selling, right? Sell ovators. So I took sell, innovate, or innovators, merge them together, and then added a Z at the end for just innovation, right? So cellivators. When I originally launched my business, it is Success with AI is my company name. And what I realized was, as great as it was to go out and try to educate and evangelize about the value and the benefits of leveraging AI in sales, but also the negative implications should we not actually retain that human element, I realized that I was not a thought leader. I didn't have a large following, and no one wants to be educated. So I wasn't making any money with my first initiative. And what I realized was I really needed to tap into my genius zone, which was sales, right? How do I teach sales to effectively do that? Which is why I then launched my Cellivators program, which does focus, about 10 to 20% of that focus is centered around how do you adopt and adapt to AI technologies, and then while retaining the human element, and then shifting the focus on the human aspect of all of the sales process, right? So what I find is we do a great job of building relationships. Hell, we had to do that, right? I just cussed, sorry. We had to do that. But now we're beyond that, right? We can all establish a relationship. Now it's really about building that credibility. How do you dive into being curious, asking the questions? How do you actively listen? How do you then become audible ready and carry that throughout the sales process from discovery all the way to negotiating and closing? So that was really what I did, was launch a program entitled Cellivators that really encapsulated all of that and allowed us to, again, adopt the technologies, but really work on the human aspect of the sales process. Because as you know, Thomas and Anna, I'm sure we're all experiencing it. There are more salespeople who lack sales ability and who devalue sales as a profession than there are those who actually add value and uplift sales as a profession. So I really want to focus on up leveling and establishing sales as a noble profession again.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
actually, it now nicely goes to my next question, which probably relates to earlier challenges or some of the reservations you had about the sales profession, right? So a human focus in AI. So say success with AI is one another aspect of your business, Denise, that it's human-centered approach to AI, as you just mentioned. But could you maybe a little bit kind of elaborate on that and say that what is this focus really essential? Are our buyers, they can do their own research, but what they actually looking for, right? What is that decision making factor when we talking about the human focus and AI?
Yeah, look, so here's the reality of it. Machines, AI, all the various different technologies that support the AI initiative in this digital age that we're in, they're not going to go away. They're here, right? One can call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think the reality is, in the direction that we're going to see, and this is 100% true. It's fact. It's already being developed and even in beta in some instances. We are going to see AGI. We're going to see the evolution of AI such that the goal is to replace humans. There are a lot of us who fit into three camps. We either love AI and we're going to adopt it as much as we can. We fear AI and we want to have nothing to do with it. Or we have those of us that are in the middle that realize that AI is here, it's going to stay, and we may not use it for everything, but we've got to figure out a way how to augment it. The reality is, those of us who adopt AI within our business, within our sales processes, are going to be the ones who actually are able to not only thrive, but not only survive, but actually thrive in the new world as we embark on that. So I think that when you are trying to decide, do I want to leverage AI technologies? The answer is yes. You need to find a way to do that. How you do that, there are some decision criteria. And actually, Anna and I talked about that on my show yesterday. There is some decision criteria that you should establish with which to determine where. Now, I always say that there are 4 key areas in the sales process. If you have way too many tools and you're looking to simplify, or you are just starting to embark on this tool journey and you need to figure out where to start, there are 4 key areas. They are in client and lead nurturing, in customer insights, and in forecasting. Those are really the 4 key areas. So if you can hone in on the decision-making criteria, and you know where you want to implement them, I think then you've got a win-win, and your opportunity for success will be greater when you decide that you are going to adopt those solutions.
Yeah, I love that, Denise, what you said, because education is the key to educate yourself about AI. But one thing you mentioned there, which I think worth repeating, that you don't have to get so many tools at once and start using them. That being sales or in general in business. But if you get 1 or 2 and you're proficient in that, what I found in my own experience, the next one is easier. The next one is easier again, because the more or less fundamentals are the same. It just you add in a little bit more, a little bit more. So yeah, I think that's a great, absolutely great tip for our listeners. Thank you.
We have got the technology so far that we've got Chella in the room. Right now, whether she's going to appear on screen or not when I push this button is another story. But here we go. Chella has got a question for Denise, and it's the wrong person that's on the screen.
Ooh,
I'm on the
Thomas,
screen.
double Thomas. So
It's Thomas is on it. It's active
Thomas, we love
speaker.
you, but we only need to see you once.
we need one. We need Chella. Bring Chella.
We got Chella. Right. Okay. Hey, Chella, thanks very much for coming on, Chella. You are brilliant. You're just educated us on what the buttons do here and what they don't do. In episode 4, we haven't had a chance to use that button before. So, Chella, you have a question for Denise, and any one of us, go ahead and fire away, Chella.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and I'm so glad we were able to get through the tech. So going back to the 4 aspects, Denise, and I did watch your latest show. For the person that's overwhelmed, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm frozen. Where do I start? You gave us the 4 areas that we could possibly start. And then Anna, you share how we can test, and see what works for us. What about the human aspect? How can I use still the human aspect with the AI? I don't want to get lost, right? I want my voice to come through. And my fear is the more I use AI, the more I'm going to lose, right? What's me and what's AI?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Go ahead. Were you going to say something else? Did I cut you off?
No, I'm saying it's a great question, Denise. Over to
Yeah.
you.
It is a great question. So I would say this, retaining let's use just as simple as lead nurturing, right? Because really sales is hard for a lot of people, but just getting in front of enough people and having the conversations is probably the hardest of them all. So how do you lead nurture, right? How do you actually start to engage so that you can have more conversations? Traditionally, as we've been adopting an automated solution for lead nurturing, we'll run a workflow that has multiple touch points. We'll let it flow. And then when the prospect or the lead respond, we never actually ever go back and engage with them. It's still continuously flowing through the process. that is a missed opportunity for us. That's where we can retain the human element. So that's a real live example. So for example, when you put the workflow to work and it's going through its process, making sure you adopt a strategy so that you're looking at it every day, every 2 or 3 days, every week, whatever that rhythm is for you, but that you're looking at, has anyone engaged? If they have, what do I need to do to stop the workflow so that I can engage? Or when you build that workflow, can I put some steps in that workflow to notify me to just go back and look or add the human? So look, the reality is a prospect today needs 15 to 20 touch points. As salespeople, as business owners, we don't have the time. And as salespeople, we get truly bored when that's all we're doing. So if we can have a process in place that does that manual or does that automatically for us, but still leaves room for us to go in and show our personality. So when you craft the email, when you craft that next touch point, it sounds like you. That's one representation. And then the other, when they do engage, you have you know when to go in and stop that engagement with the automation tool and engage as the human. So we can still interject our human qualities within that process in a couple of different ways, and we can know that at the end of the day that yes, while they have to have some engagement with automation, I can still make that choice where and when that occurs. Did that answer your question, Chella?
Most certainly
Yeah,
did. Thank you.
yeah, I love that, Denise. And maybe just to say that there's a way to educate whatever AI tool you're using and have your own touch there. And probably that's why I started. And I think our first show was on that, Thomas, wasn't it? Where
It
you
was, yeah.
customize, yeah, that you actually know it represents you, who you are, that you actually stay within that human touch and human element of it. Because by the end of it, going back, Denise, to what you said earlier, relationships matter. Trust is huge in sales. That's what I'm taking from earlier conversation on the show, that if you don't have that, no AI automations really will help, isn't it? So you need to have that trust
Yep.
element with your customers, with your clients. So, and then, Chella, would you like to maybe to share quickly your experience? Do you use AI at all in your business?
I'm starting to. I'm currently working on 2 different programs, part of a coaching program. It's part of there. And so they're guiding us through the process, which is why this is so perfect. Because as I'm beginning to use that tool, I'll be able to take Denise's suggestions into consideration. So the timing could not be better.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well,
Brilliant,
thank you very
brilliant.
much for joining us, Chella. Really appreciate it. So, and
Yeah.
over to you, Thomas.
All right. Okay.
You
Well,
have another
look,
question for Denise, I believe.
yeah, Denise, again, as I was researching, right, I realized, and a comment that you made, and I'm very interested in it, writing a book. Right. Is this going to be your first time writing a book?
Yes, it will. Now, I've attempted many times to write a book. If you were to go back in all of my notebooks, I probably have 20 books I started and never finished. But yes, I am
All
interested in one.
right. So, this book, what's it going to be about? And what are you going to use AI to help you write the book?
Well, so I have two on that I would like to write. One is my own personal journey. So I started actually a live stream, just a 10-15 minute pop up weekly on Mondays, so that I can put myself out there and on video, because that's where I do better, because it holds me accountable. So I am sharing the human behind human AI cells. And so what I take from that, I don't really know, but I am going to leverage AI because I'm going to take those videos, transcribe them, and take that then as output to foster or create this book that I want to write. I've always wanted to write a personal story, because there's a lot as within my childhood trauma, as well as in my journey to as an entrepreneur, as well as my journey in sales, my real why. So I'd love to find ways to share that so that I can maybe help and move someone else along that might be in a similar journey. But I also want to write a book, something around human AI cells or cell elevators. I'm not really quite sure yet. And yes, I am going to leverage AI. Not really sure how I'm going to do that yet, but that is my goal. In fact, Anna and I had originally set up our accountability sessions so that she could help me write my book. But we have really that time that we spent, we still hold each other accountable, but it's become much bigger and grander than that. So I don't really know yet. It is going to be something about sales and how to retain the human element. How do we do that effectively? The value, importance of it, what the future might look like if we don't. But I don't really know, much more than that, actually. So thank you for asking, because now I feel really bad that I still haven't done any of that.
Well,
Well, we'll come back to it, Denise. We're definitely going to put more emphasis into that. Okay.
and it's out there on the internet now, on Facebook, on YouTube, and LinkedIn, that you're going to write in a book. The first book sounds very, very, and I don't want you to say any more about it, but it sounds like there's going to be a lot of personal things that in it. It's not just going to be a technical book. It's going to be written with emotion, I'd say. Right. And that's going to be an interesting book to read, to learn the person that's really behind all this, as in you. I think it's going to be an interesting book. I can't wait to see it. So yeah, when are we getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we will.
good question.
Sure.
What's interesting here, we do have another comment, right? And unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for these comments, but I don't know if you can see it there, but Des Larry says, can't wait to read it. Thumbs up. Right. Okay. Yeah.
To do it, you raised to another level now, Denise. So that's it.
Right. Okay. So thanks, Des, for that comment. I really appreciate it. Right. Yes. Any engagement? Yeah. Yeah. So we're a little bit short on time. I know we could talk for a lot more. Unless there's something that Denise wants to add, or yourself, Anna, do you want to add more to this?
No, I actually want to ask Denise maybe to give, because it's a practical show, right? And maybe 1 or 2 tips, Denise, for sales professionals to prepare for that future with AI. If you could give us some practical tips, please.
Yeah, and Anna knows how much I love giving practical tips, right? Because the differentiator between us and anyone else out there is the experience that we provide, and giving practical tips provides an experience. So Desmond Lowry said no pressure on my book because he said he couldn't read it. So yeah, I'll reach out to you, Desmond. But I think practical tips, whether you are an individual contributor in a larger organization, or whether you're an entrepreneur who is looking to expand your business, as it relates to sales, some practical tips in leveraging AI is really do this. Pick the area within. So for example, if you know that you're not having enough conversation, pick a lead generation AI solution or automation solution that will benefit you, that will help you start to have more conversations. So I'd say number 1 is find the area within the sales process that you are the weakest. 2, then write you the requirements, what you want to achieve. And then 3, sorry for the balloons now.
Brilliant.
And then 3, make sure that you go out and look at multiple tools so that you don't just go with the first one, because there is a learning curve. And do you have the time or the bandwidth to spend with this one, learning it, because it takes longer, but it's the one that everyone recommends, rather than one that may not take you as long, that no one has ever heard of. And I would probably choose the one that takes me less time, but that's because my requirements are different. So make sure you understand what your requirements are, and then you find the solution that maps directly to those requirements. So that would be my takeaway. Narrow it down, simplify it, and really target the areas that you want to see better success in.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think simplify is the word, isn't it? Don't make it complicated. Yes. Simplify it. Love it. Love it.
I think it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on this. Anna's going to agree with me. And those that have been listening, I'm sure, got great value from having you on the show today. Desmond says, I think AI will automate tedious tasks to free up salespeople and sell more. I know
Yep.
Des is from an accountancy firm, very, very good accountant based here in Ireland. So,
Oh, he is. I
yeah.
know his services and highly recommend it.
Yes,
Many,
so
many years
there's a plug for Des right today. So listen, we got to wrap up. Anna, what have we got lined up for next week? And before we let you say anything, we've realized that Anna doesn't like to be on the screen by herself. That's why I keep pushing her button to get her
And
out
you're
there.
very good, Tom. Okay, I will remember that for our
But
next
wait, she says that, and yesterday she had to be on all alone on my show because of technical issues, and she did a phenomenal job. So put her back on the screen by herself. But I think she did an amazing job.
All
There
right.
you go.
Okay, Anna, tell us what's lined up for
very
next week's show.
much.
What's
I can see that there is an agreement behind the scenes, so thank you very much for that. Now, for next week's show, it's slightly different. So I guess we're trying different formats, different ways to bring the AI message or AI idea to businesses out there. That is nothing to be afraid of, but just try it out with cautiously, right? So next week will be all about demo, and we're going to share a lot of insights and what we actually learn in real time, and we're going to talk about more in detail, let's say, decision making, funnels, and some very interesting things about marketing and business marketing and how to navigate all those challenges. So Thomas has some very exciting insights for all of you, and I will add to it with decision making tips. So thank you very much for today. And Denise, again, absolute pleasure having you
absolute
here.
pleasure.
Delighted.
Anna, Denise,
much.
will I play us out with our song, or will I just put up my bye-bye usual stuff? What do you think?
I like the song. Make Anna laugh a bit more.
I tell you what, I'll play the song and then I will actually... Let's have a little dance.
Oh my God.
We'll guide you to the light. AI tools and strategies, insights from the best.
I will go to